Run.
Is the question. Well, the odds makers are in no doubt whatsoever. Not going to win much money on Manchester City advancing to the final. Remember, they lead 3-1. Manchester United, well, if you fancy a flutter, you can get 28-1 on them advancing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, though, saying, listen, we can't just defend. We have to try and keep the ball and make them run after the ball. Perfect performance it has to be, but we have done amazing things before at this club. And the PSG game is, for me, a very, very good example. Frank Leboeuf is with us. Frank, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer talking about a game nearly a year ago, of course, where they did turn around to 2-goal advantage in the Champions League. Are you surprised he's referencing that game?
Not at all. That was kind of a miracle, and nobody expected Manchester United to come to Parc des Princes and win and get through. So he can use that to motivate everybody and makes hopes around the team with the fans. So it's but to be fair, it was more, and I don't want to be harsh too much to Manchester United, and I'm not a Paris Saint-Germain fan whatsoever. It's just that it's more Paris Saint-Germain who didn't play that game more than Manchester United who had a fantastic game. It was more mistakes from Buffon, mistakes from Kerrer, and given goals to Manchester United. So again, I don't know if they can really use that, but do they have another reference to have and to make before that game against Manchester City? I don't think so.
First leg, Adrian. It would have to take a diabolical performance from Man City not to go through.
As you said, United have beaten City at the Etihad in the league.
Listen, the bookies have it as they do for a reason. And I understand Solskjaer trying to draw inspiration from somewhere. The trouble is, Manchester United of late haven't had inspiring performances, and she'll have to look to a game from a year ago to find some kind of encouragement in this one. But listen, you understand Solskjaer trying to find a spark from somewhere, but as a neutral, you just don't see how United turn this around. Not this United.
I think if United go, look, I think there's an expectation by United fans with common sense that, having watched the first leg, it's unlikely they're going to go through. I think what they have to avoid, clearly, without stating the obvious, is a pummelling, right? Because clearly they're not going to get rid of Solskjaer. That's not going to happen we've discussed it. It's not going to happen at the moment. So the one thing, or they're not going to happen barring a disaster. So he just has to avoid a disaster. Anything else for him is an absolute bonus.
Well, some good news today for Manchester United. Apparently the Bruno Fernandes deal is very much back on. Reports that he is due to arrive at Old Trafford tomorrow. Other good news, or is it a potential return to Manchester United?
Good news if Henrik Larsson's coming back.
For Alexis Sanchez, apparently. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying, hey, listen, Henrik Larsson was good enough. Nemanja Vidic, Patrice Evra, talking about previous January signings. It's hard, very hard. The club don't want to lose their best players. And Alexis Sanchez will come back in the summer to prove you all wrong.
Use that performance, and all big games you need that concentration, and that's what the players had today. They had that concentration on both defensively and when they won the ball, making sure that pass forward was good, the touch was good, and then, you know, as we've seen, players flying off, Anthony Martial, and causing City big problems. So no, I think we all know United's records against the big teams. When the big teams open up and we can expose on the counter-attack, the next step is breaking teams down. And that's where we have to get Paul Pogba back. He's the one who can unlock the door and get him back playing well and consistently, because that's the next step then. You know, we've seen the record. I think every team above United, we're unbeaten It's the teams below that make it difficult. At Old Trafford, where you've got to be patient, that's the next step now. But that was a fantastic performance, the best performance that I've seen for a long time off United team.
We'll come to United's frontmen in a moment, but from City's point of view, 14 points. No team at this stage have been that far behind and gone on to win the title. Even a team and a squad like the champions. Any chance?
No, there wasn't any chance after, I think, what happened at Anfield. Liverpool are too good right now. They're not dropping points. I think they drew 7 games last season, only losing 1. They haven't dropped those points this season. So Liverpool have been too consistent. And I think for City, they can take the focus off the Premier League. They can focus on the Champions League. They want to win that. Liverpool are too consistent right now. Liverpool remind me of those great United teams that Giggsy played on. They can win in any way. And City, as good as they are, they have their style of play. And when it's good, it's great, but it didn't work today. And I think Liverpool have more strings to the bow, and we're seeing that. They can win ugly. And City at the moment, I don't think they can as well.
And City are actually closer, incredibly, to Newcastle in 11th than they are to the leaders, Liverpool. But back to United, you like the front four today, effectively, the Fab Four, however you want to say. So the third time that they've all started a Premier. 7 changes, but the same result, 3-0 Liverpool at Bournemouth. Some response from Tottenham's defeat in Manchester at Old Trafford in the week, 5-0. They beat Burnley at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Hayden Mullins gives the job to Nigel Pearson at Watford. They did get a draw and a clean sheet against Crystal Palace, but still only 1 win all season. And the Manchester derby has gone United's way. 4 games, remember, tomorrow, including Leicester City at Aston Villa, and then Arsenal, who have their own problems, are at West Ham in the Monday Night Football. So, as I say, relentless from Liverpool. 15 wins, just a 1 draw. That, of course, at Old Trafford. They've won 7 in a row since then. 11 points ahead of Leicester, who have the opportunity to reduce it back to 8 with a win at Villa Park tomorrow. But perhaps most telling of all, the champions are 14 points behind the leaders in 3rd place. Then come Chelsea, beaten today, and suddenly, with that result, Manchester United only 5 points off Frank Lampard's team and Champions League football. Well, as I say, Nigel Pearson will take charge of Watford with just 9 points on the board, which 1 win all season, 6 points from safety. Norwich and Southampton both play tomorrow, so too the Aston Villa. West Ham will wait until Monday. Everton up to 14th with those 3 points under Duncan Ferguson. Much more from Ryan, Roberto and Owen to come. We'll go to live at the Etihad in the Manchester derby. City 0, United 2 at half-time. So much to discuss. Let's get straight into it. Manchester United's first goal. Ryan, what was your first gut feeling? Penalty or not penalty?
Yeah, I thought it was a penalty. It happened pretty quickly, but Silva didn't get the ball, and he just catches Marcus, and that was my first instinct, that it was a penalty in real time. I think from where the referee is, it's probably not as clear for him, but there from behind the goal, Bernardo Silva quite clearly catches Marcus and doesn't get anything in the ball. So for my money, it's a penalty.
Roberto?
This is one of those actions that is a bit of interpretation. I think the ball is divided. I think the ball is in front of Rashford. He's not in control, and the 2 players come together. So it's one of those that, depending on what the angle, if I'm this angle, I'm thinking more Bernardo trying to win the position, and then they collide together, and almost you could say that Rashford is kicking Bernardo's calf. So I can see what Ryan is saying. I would see clearly, if you are in this angle, this is a penalty. Now, my worry and my problem is that this is not the way to use VAR. We should allow the referee to make the decision, and the referee didn't think that it was a penalty straight away. And then VAR tells him. It's not even that he uses VAR to see if that the contact is penalty or not. That's my big worry with VAR, the way we're using it in the Premier League.
So, Roberto, would you be happier if the referee would have actually gone over to the screen and looked at it and then give his decision?
So you got a referee watching the VAR and say, look, I think you need to have a look again. Yeah. And then he can have a look the other angle, and then he could say, yes, I've seen the contact.
That isn't available in the Premier League at the moment.
Which is a disappointment.
Yeah, it is. But
because you need to look at why VAR, it takes a bit of time to be introduced in other leagues. And as a Premier League, you should use the experiences, good and bad, in other leagues to see what works. Because VAR in itself, is used correctly, is fantastic for the game, but used wrongly is a disaster, is an extreme.
VAR looked at it and said it was a clear and obvious error. You happy with that?
Yeah, because the referee got it wrong. Because Bernardo Silva, when you hit somebody's quad, like he does, even though he's just a tiny bit late, when he hits Rashford's quad,
His right quad hits Marcus Rashford's left quad and brings him down. It's a foul and it's a penalty. And I get he just made the wrong decision in the game, and essentially they overturned. I agree with Rod. There's too many inconsistencies with VAR, but essentially the referee got the decision wrong and they overturned it. And essentially that's what we've got it there for.
It wouldn't be Derby Day without speaking to the former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher, would it?